Good morning, family. It's Wednesday today out here on the in the Northeast region, the Northeast territories, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. I guess you could put Pennsylvania in there too. Those are part of the original 13 colonies that were, propagated back in the 16 and 1700s. And quite naturally, you got Rhode Island, Connecticut, um, Maine, New Hampshire, Virginia. In fact, you know what? New England, the Virginia colony encompassed from Virginia all the way up to New England. That was all part of the so-called Virginia colony. You know, something that I just, found out because quite naturally, I don't know anything. That's for sure. That's why I'm always trying to find out stuff. But I do know there's some speculation that there's a bill that's in legislation regarding those people who aren't vaxxed, pursuant to the mental health, which essentially gives them the power to, if it's passed, gives them the power to come by your house and arbitrarily determine whether or not you, as a as a human being, whether or not you meet their criteria as being a person who's healthy or unhealthy, or a person who may need to get vaxxed since you're not vaxxed, and it's specifically targeting those people who are unvaxxed. Now you could go look this up. I don't have the bill number now, but it's definitely in legislation. I know it's definitely in legislation in Washington State. I think it's WAC something something something. But and it's also in New York. It's in all of the blue states, from what they say. All of your Democratic strongholds is where this bill now is being facilitated. So it's something that we may want to, all those concerned people out there, whether you're vaxxed or not, you may want to check into that, because that's something, obviously, if you have a friend or a child or a spouse who's not vaxxed, could obviously affect you. From what I understand, it's already being conducted in Australia, in other places around the globe. So it's not something that's totally foreign as it relates to, the action, being propagated. So this is something that that you should, as someone who considers themselves to be a citizen, whatever that may be, that you would want to definitely check into. Also, I was watching some very disturbing video of, I believe it was in Australia, it might have been in the UK, where they are now openly attacking the children. They're coming in to the households for whatever reason. They're conducting sparse interviews, and they're grabbing the child, literally, taking the child out of the possession of the guardians, of the parents, and essentially, once they can come in and kind of just snatch your child, people, that's what it amounts to. It's just possession. It's like you having a car, with a certificate of title. You just possess the car. You don't own it. You don't own it until, quite naturally, you finish paying for it, and then even then, if you get a ticket and don't pay for the ticket, they come snatching the car. So do you really ever own it? So it's that's what it's coming down to, and it's like I said before, regardless of the decisions that we make, whether right or wrong, when it comes to the children, that's sacred, people. Now that is sacred ground. And if we don't protect the children, it is all over. If we don't protect them now, right or wrong, it's all over. You can do with me what you want. You can treat me any kind of way, but you're not gonna do that to the babies. They deserve a chance. So that's something that you might want to look into. As it relates to the the well-being and of the family unit, something that we should want, we would want to protect. Um, Also, what else is going on here? Uh, yeah, also, the numbers related to those individuals who have gotten vax seem to be overwhelming the hospitals. In other words, those are the main people that are consuming the time of those nurses and doctors in the hospitals. From what they're saying, we can go check. You can check that out through the VAERS report. That's VEARS. Um, and they could give you some of the numbers as it relates to exactly what's going on. You can also go to the UK reports, because the UK reports obviously have a lot to do with what's going on out here in the colonies. Let's not forget that on paper, these territories out here in so-called America are colonies of Britain. So whatever's happening out there in Britain, this is what I'm saying, always seems to trickle down into these territories. So if it happens there first, if it precipitates, it's going to come down. It's ultimately going to reach the colonies and the possessions in these parts. So that's something that you may want to check out. And I'm gonna tell you, for and I don't mean to be these the giver of croakings of doom, but we have to get serious about what's going on, and how that's going to now affect us moving forward. You're going to have to, in my opinion, start making provisions for alternate situations where if you not really um, a part of the current status quo as it relates to the actions that are being taken place, you may have to start thinking about moving, in some cases fleeing. And this is real. So I'm not just talking to be talking because I can talk and then upload on YouTube. This is like the real deal. So you have to start, because I know I am. I'm already in my mind, as Malcolm said, I'm already dead. So therefore, is no fear in me when it comes to the actions that now I may have to take, to protect that existence. You know. So this is something that you need to start contemplating and thinking about, because it's not getting serious, people. It's already serious. The pot is already boiling. The lava is overflowing. In fact, there's some people that are already on the run. The lava is nipping at their heels. This is serious. And it's no longer really about the vax and unvax. It's about your right to exist, your right to make decisions, your right to honor the institution of your family, of your children, and how you delegate that honor upon yours, the ones that you consider to be yours, that you raised, that you fed, that you've put through school. All these things that you've done as a parent, as it relates to what you believe in. And now, at the drop of a dime, it could be snatched from you. It's a pretty sobering thought, but it's real nonetheless, and it's something that we have to, at this point, we have to give serious consideration to. Because whether or not, it seems at this point, whether or not you want to or not, whether or not you believe in what's going on in terms of the ideology of the mind of the world at this point, it doesn't matter. They're going to do what they want to do. And see, the thing is that they can do nothing unless you consent to it. If I come into your house every day and I go into the refrigerator, and I take a beer, and I sit there and I look at you and I drink the beer and leave, and then, after I leave, you complain. Well, I mean, listen, you consented. Well, how did you consent? Well, you consented because you didn't say anything. So in my mind, it's okay to go in your refrigerator and drink your beer and eat all your food because you didn't object. That's what you call tacit consent. So in other words, now conversely to that, I come into your house and I go into your fridge and you check me. Yo, what you doing? No, I'm about to grab a beer. Now, man, listen, man, you can't grab a beer unless you ask me. Did you pay for something? What you doing? Matter of fact, get out the house. You objected to it. So now I understand now in my mind, I just can't go in your house and go into your fridge like I own it, like it's my house, and grab a beer. You objected to that. You in your objection said no. It's the same thing that you have to do with the government. So in other words, if you hear that the government is, contemplating a bill to be passed and you just sit back and let the bill be passed. So now when they come into your house and snatch your kid, they're going to say to you, well, you consented. Well, why did you consent? Well, you knew that the bill was on the table. Didn't they give you an information? So you consented. So, get out the way and give me your kid and we'll shoot them up and do what we want to do with them. That's how it goes. The CDC recently passed a bill, I think it was the CDC or the WHO, World Health Organization, stating that if you if you send your kid to a public school, that is automatically construed as a sign of consent. Whether you wrote on paper or not that you're consenting to whatever it is they decide to do in these schools, public schools and charter schools, you've already consented by sending your child to the school. You can go look that up. Now, that's real. It's called tacit consent. So in other words, the days of you just sitting back and just, letting people do what they want to do without saying anything with the idea that it'll take care of itself, that's not how it's going to go. I don't know if it ever went that way, but it's not going that way now. Not in these times. There's agendas out there. And there's some people out there that are going to push their agendas, in spite of or in lieu of any objections that may occur. But if they aren't vocalized, they're going to push through their agendas. And this is why, really, ladies and gentlemen, why the world is in the position that it's in now. Is because we've sat on the couch too long, been in front of the TV and on YouTube, been spending too many Sundays, watching football and wrestling at night, and we haven't taken the time to really understand what's going on politically behind the scenes and how it affects us, how it affects our babies. And so now, when you look back on it, or you look about or maybe your babies will look back on it years from now, and they'll ask you, well, mommy, why did you let me do this? Or why did you let them do that? Or why didn't you do anything about it? I trusted you. And I did the things that, you compelled me to do because, you're my mother and I loved you. And you're my father, I loved you. But why did you do that? Look of everything that's happening now. And they have the right to ask you that. I always hear this argument that, well, you took the shot years ago and you didn't know what was in there. Of course I didn't know what was in there. I was 4 years old, for crying out loud. How am I supposed to know what's in the shot? But I do trust that my mama and my father, they were proactive in their, investigations as it related to the contents that was in that shot. I trusted them. Of course, I didn't know what was in the shot. Muhammad Ali said that if at 50 years old, you're the same person that you were at 20, you just wasted 30 years of your time. So in other words, at 4 years old, quite naturally, I'm not going to be the same person that I am now at 45. I'm on a whole new level at 45. And I'm out there from the empirical standpoint. I'm putting it down. I'm finding out what's going on. What is in that shot? What are the ingredients in that shot? Because the information's out there. So what do I look like comparing myself or using that as an excuse now to put something in my body, to put something in my mouth, to ingest something without knowing what's in there, or at the very least, without trying to find out, unless you don't care. Unless you don't care about what they put in your child. And if you don't care about what they put in your child, and if you don't care about what they put in you, then you just don't care. And that's tacit consent for them to do what they want to do. And from that standpoint, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, I don't blame them. I'd do you any kind of way, too. I would go right into your fridge and grab all the food and perishables, and produce that I could if you didn't say anything about it. Yeah. And if you said something, I might smack the hell out of you. I might look at you crazy. All this time you've been agreeing, you've been going along with it. I've been raiding your fridge, and now all of a sudden, now shut up. And that's what it is, people. Connotatively speaking, that's what it is. Just be quiet. You never cared before. Remember, you took the shot with the measles, the chicken pox, and all that stuff when you was younger. You never said nothing. You never even cared what was in the shot. So just sit back and let us put this in you. Trust us. It's gonna work out fine. But outside that, ladies and gentlemen, it's cold out here in the Northeast region. We're buckling down, and hopefully we'll be able to get through this. Until next time, talk to you later.